Hello, hello, my sensitive people, my fellow sensitive people. It is your favorite reader named Whimsy, here to deliver the scoop on what is going on in Washington, D.C., or, as I like to say, the news 3-4 weeks early. So things are heating up in D.C. People are not happy. No. People are not happy. The president is getting cornered, increasingly cornered. I'm going to go ahead and predict that even the slowest kid in class is going to read the Mueller report. The Mueller report is one of those things that once you see it, you can't unsee it. And you'll immediately become curious about those 14 investigations that came out of the Mueller report, which of course are about chasing the money. Some interesting things that are going on that didn't get covered in the Mueller report. For example, the bribery schemes, the blackmail schemes that they had worked out with the the National Enquirer parent company. The fact that it was possibly working as a wing of the Republican Party or the Trump Party, and similar investigations are going on with Fox News. Fox is also going to have to testify. So I think that that's what's coming up in the future. I think we're going to be seeing hearings where Fox executives are going to have to answer in Congress. Now, if you're working for someone's political campaign but you haven't declared that, that's a problem. And Fox News fell into that category a little bit, so I think we're going to see some examination of that, in addition to some of these magazines that obviously were not biased. It's one thing to be a magazine or a newspaper that is right-leaning or left-leaning. It's another thing to actually choreograph with someone's political campaign in order to win points, and that's the difference. And many of the cable channels, I think, are kind of running a thin line in terms of, it's a real thin line between that and actually endorsing a candidate. In terms of some of the people that I think are going to be testifying, I think it's probably everybody that was mentioned in the Mueller report. They're going to try and subpoena. And I think that the president will try and suppress that. In terms of the president's greatest vulnerability, I think it's his taxes and his finances. He's going to do everything in his power to block that. And then it's really a crapshoot. If we get his finances, at that point, are we moving towards resignation or impeachment or both? I would argue that it's getting to the point where this president may not even be given an offer. So if there is an offer on the table, I still feel that Barr would be the person to negotiate the offer between Trump's lawyers, his lawyers, and the FBI. If there's going to be a mediator, I think Barr would naturally slip into that role if we're moving towards that. I also think that we're going to be hearing more about the fact that there are Republicans that don't like this president and question his mental health. So the great turn between this president and the Republicans is probably going to be happening next week. It's what a disaster that's going to be. All right, I'm going to do some shuffling. We will use my Radiance deck. And I want to just check and see if Congress is going to get Trump's taxes. Let's take a look. Will Congress get Trump's taxes? Where they are right now, a judgment. So it could be making its way all the way to the courts. There's this, with a judgment coming in and then a severing coming in, a message by air in the courts, a judgment coming down. This is probably going to make its way to the courts. I think that they're going to have to release their taxes. Yeah, you've got an Ace of Pentacles moving in. Yeah, we're going to get his taxes. I think we are, because you can see an Ace of Pentacles moving in, a financial situation, a Judgment coming in, Page of Swords coming in, cutting it off, loss of victory, new beginning in the springtime, rocky waters ahead. The president is not happy. We're going to get his taxes. You can see here the wish card moving in. Mueller gets his wish. What was Mueller's wish? What does Mueller want more than anything? I think that the Hoodoo sisters are good readers. I think that they're good, but I think that the misinterpretation about Mueller was that you have to realize, when you get into Mueller's energy, he doesn't have temptation like most people, in the sense that what tempts Mueller, what Mueller wants more than anything in the world, but is his crown jewel. You know, he truly was born to be a prosecutor. The crown jewel of a prosecutor is a full signed sealed confession. They want a full confession. It is for him the island. It is the jewel. It is the creme de la creme. It is all that and a bag of chips. It is all he wants. And so it's likely he's going to get it. It's likely that Mueller is going to get his confession. So it just seems to me like we're moving more towards resignation prior to impeachment, but the tide is turning in the Senate. I'm going to go ahead and throw on the Senate, but people should not assume that the Senate is going to continue to support this president. They need to get away from this guy as soon as possible, because by the time even the slowest reader has read the report, they're going to have to be thinking about their re-election campaigns in 2020. So I'm going to go ahead and throw what the Republican response is going to be over the next couple weeks, but I have a pretty good idea that it's going to be turning. I don't see the Republicans holding on. And I think that they will get the votes in the Senate to impeach this president as impeachment gains speed. I think that Hillary Clinton, who wrote an op-ed piece, I believe it is in the New York Times, saying we have to begin the process of oversight, see where it takes us. She's right, and that's exactly what's going to happen. We're going to start seeing more and more support for impeachment. All right, let's go ahead and throw the cards and look at the Republican Party and what it's going to be doing in the next couple of weeks. All right, what is the Republican response to Trump over the next couple of weeks and the Mueller report? Base card. They're working their way through it, but look at that. Their hands are tied. They have put themselves in this situation. It's really the Republicans that have tied themselves in knots. They're the ones that have created the situation they currently find themselves in. Where they're at right now, they don't know what to do. They don't know what to do. They're not in agreement, and they're kind of shell-shocked, to be honest with you. I think Republican leadership is shell-shocked, and they don't know what to think. And because they're kind of shell-shocked, they're not communicating with one another. They've kind of hunkered down, and it just feels to me like shock. They can't make a decision because they're kind of stunned a little bit. What crosses it? The Two of Wands. So a feeling coming in now about what the future partnership is going to be with this particular president, and also regrets about the partnership that they had with this president not going anywhere. Look at this. 5 of Pentacles, locked out of the church, poverty. This can also be a feeling of exile from one's own spirituality. The lights of the church, but they're locked outside in the snow, trying to find a way in. Exile, spiritual exile from one's own beliefs. A feeling is entering the Christian community that they were somehow pulled away from their faith into the exile, into the cold, away from the church. And what sits in the back? Confusion, money, bribery, seduction, not knowing where the coin is coming from, making questionable deals. The future, soul searching. A lot of the GOP base is going to be doing a lot of spiritual soul searching. Look at this. You see the Five of Pentacles? Exile, out of the church, the soul seeking, not going anywhere with this president. Poor judgment regarding the partnership. This is interesting as a base. The labor that we don't have, the burden that we don't have to carry. All he has to do is drop all he has to do is drop the sticks, and then look at the position of his back. Pain. This is a burden he doesn't have to have. He has created the burden. And the same here with the Eight of Swords. They can unwrap themselves. This is a situation that a person finds themselves in by their own doing. Bargaining, negotiation, grief. The contract that they had with this president is severing. The hope and the fear. Gosh, this is interesting. The hope and the fear. This is heavy stuff. It's almost like a feeling of what one has lost is one's moral integrity. What one has lost is one's moral conviction. And now they stand in confusion. Exile, confusion, exile from God, fighting amongst themselves. Almost like a feeling of cannibalism. They begin to blame each other over the coming weeks. This is horrible. Hopes and fears. The King of Pentacles. I still think that scared, frightened knight named Rod Rosenstein has created a lot more mischief than the people in public realize. And yes, he's a frightened knight. Yes, the guy's comes across as weak. But it's precisely those types of people that are the bravest, because when you do feel that type of fear, but you still hire a special counsel, that's pretty remarkable. But I think that's Rod Rosenstein's card. I think he's going to, by the way, I think Rod Rosenstein is going to be subpoenaed and he's going to have to speak before Congress. This is not good. Inverted Strength card. You can see coming in with a Five of Cups inverted. You want to know how this energy feels to me regarding the future of particularly the Christian community and the Christian right. It feels to me like soul searching, seeking one's own self-reflection, fear, having to do really serious self-reflection about the choices they made. Was it worth it? Was it worth it to align themselves with this particular person? Because we can see confusion, anger, and fighting amongst themselves, and then ultimately a break or an end in the contract or relationship that they had with this president. It's a weird feeling, because not only do I feel like there are people that want to sever their relationship with this president that were part of his base, but there are others that accept their demise because of this president. And that's really a powerful thing to think about. There are people that actually are aligned with this president that think, okay, my career is over. And that's that it is already too late for them. It's already too late for them to be reelected in 2020 because of the blind support they had for this president. That's what I see. Wow. Okay, I want to thank everybody for watching this video of Tarot with Whimsy. If you'd like to get in for a phone reading, I would love to give you a phone reading. You can go to Tarot with Whimsy, and I schedule my appointments through GenBook, or you can just give me a text. All right, thanks for watching, everyone. We'll see you next time. Take care. Bye.